What's going on, everybody? You're listening to episode 13 of Trash D Radio. I'm your host, Tyler, joined today by Mr. 412 himself, Chance,
Ballin.
and the Fragmaster himself, Lucas.
Wow.
And we're joined by a special guest today, the ranked 252nd Orisa on Xbox Quick Play player, Evan DeFalco.
Hello, friends.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes,
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming in, Evan. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Trash Year Sports.
Follow that shit.
Follow it on. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure you listen to us on Spotify, Google Play. We're out there. Just listen to us. So let's start off this week getting into some Week 10 reactions. So there was a big Thursday night game. The Steelers put a hurting on the Carolina Panthers. Chance, what was your reaction to that?
Well, for starters, Wahlburgers needs to have a 50 burger on their menu now because that's what the Steelers just dropped on the Panthers this fucking weekend, or I guess last Thursday. But yeah, this was by far the Steelers' best game of the season. It was entirely fucking domination from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. Even the backups looked good against the Panthers. Hey, what can I say? They rolling.
I was trying to study during that time, and I was too excited with the game, got nothing done at all.
Well, so it seemed like it was one of those games where, it was going to be a bad game at first because the Panthers just walked right down the field and put 7 up real quick. And every time the Steelers get down off that first drive, I always get a little nervous because that puts more pressure on their defense. And then Ben just came out and just threw that just misplay, pretty much because the Panthers just misplayed it to Juju for 75 yards. And then we come back, get the ball back, or Carolina gets the ball back, and then boom, we get a pick six like that. So it just completely changed it.
Yeah, it was one of the wildest sequence of events I've ever seen, like in the beginning of a game like that. Christian McCaffrey, the Panthers running back, basically drove down the field by himself. And I thought it was going to be a horrible game for the Steelers defense. But then, like you said, on the very next play for the Steelers, Juju Smith-Schuster, 75-yard touchdown. And then on the very next play for the Panthers, offensively, Cam Newton throws a pick six, and it's 21-7 Steelers. So I was feeling pretty good at that point.
I mean, the Steelers, they're a wagon. If they play how they're supposed to play, they're a wagon, and they've definitely played how people thought they were going to play going into the season. I mean, everyone looked phenomenal. Nobody had a bad game.
Well, plus I feel like it helps. Like whenever Ben can distribute to
7 different players at a touchdown,
it just opens everything up.
Passes.
Yeah, because I mean it's kind of like Kansas City where it's like they just have we have so many offensive weapons that once you start feeding it, the defense isn't like you can't double AB because we can just hit you with Juju, and you can't double Juju obviously because then we'll just give it to AB. And now that Connor's actually running progressively better and actually is cemented now as the starter, which we'll get to in a minute. It's just where our offense is finally clicking, and our defense is actually now backing up that offense to where they don't have to they don't have to be an elite defense. They just have to be an average defense for us to win.
Yeah, the defense literally has to just stop the other team from scoring as many points as the Steelers' offense. As simple as that sounds.
That's how you win.
Score more. It's I don't know. I like the Steelers. I think that all the drama at the beginning of the season was the best thing for the Steelers. They came in, hot. Everyone thought that they were Super Bowl contenders. I think they were the favorite to win the Super Bowl in Vegas. And then all that shit happened, and then all the pressure just dropped. Everyone thought the Steelers were done. They've been flying under the radar for the last 7 weeks. Just balling out, literally balling out. I think this is their year, honestly.
Well, now the only thing that concerns me is that now the Steelers have a extremely difficult schedule ahead of us. I mean, we got to go to Jacksonville, which I don't know if that's going to be a trap game or not.
Recently, they have not been playing very good.
But it's still one of those things.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama going on down there. Jalen Ramsey tweeting he wants out of Jacksonville after he talks shit on every NFL quarterback in the league this season.
How much?
Jordan?
Yeah, I saw that.
How much shit did he talk on Big Ben? Just out of curiosity.
He basically said that Big Ben is an average quarterback, and the players around him make him look like a Hall of Famer.
I tell you what, we'll take Jalen Ramsey. We'll take him. We just need help on it.
No, I would take fucking Jalen Ramsey too.
You know what I mean? Talk of that shit. I don't care. And then we got to go, what? We still have to verse the Saints. We still have to verse
the Patriots.
And we still have to verse the Chargers as well. So it's 3 really tough. And we also got to verse Cincinnati, which I know we'll probably beat them, hopefully, but it's the last game of the year. And if it's one of those, who wins can, influence, seeding or who gets the, wins the division kind of deal.
So the good thing about that tough schedule is the Patriots and Chargers both have to come to Pittsburgh. The Patriots don't look the same this year. Gronkowski is not the same player. He's so hurt right now that their offense is fucked without him. Tom Brady is the worst, or has the worst passer rating right now in the NFL under the blitz, which is saying something. It's worse.
Which is good for us because we blitz.
Yeah, we're Blitzburg. We blitz every fucking play.
Yeah, we do the Patriots in Carolina.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah. So I feel like I like the Steelers' chances. The Chargers, they're from LA coming over here. It's probably gonna be cold as fuck at Heinz Field that day.
Wait, the Chargers from LA?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
San Diego.
There we go. Shout it out.
But no, I like the Steelers in both those games. I also like them against Jacksonville this week. I feel like the Steelers are a surging team right now. I think it's between them and the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC.
Steelers versus Saints, Super Bowl preview.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are going to lose that one.
Oh, yeah, probably.
It's in New Orleans, and the Saints are just fucking killing it right now. But
the other thing I want to point out before we move on to the next topic is that the one sack that TJ Watt had on Cam Newton, where literally it looked like he just ran into him and didn't realize that he was playing football. Like, did you guys see that? Where he pretty much just literally ran right into him, headbutted his shoulder, and Cam Newton just fell down. And TJ Watt just stood there oh, that's how you tackle now. It was crazy. And I mean, Cam Newton was shook up all game. I think that's whenever you shake up Cam, he turns into not MVP quarterback.
Yeah, once he's down and he gets in one of those moods, he's a fucking diva. And he could be one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but he just doesn't have that attitude that he wants to come in and work every day. He doesn't have the Big Ben, the Drew Brees, the Tom Brady attitude. He's just there to collect a paycheck, and whatever happens, happens.
Hey, Superman. Superman needs that money. So, but it is now official today that Bell is a no-show. He will not be participating in this year's football season. He did not sign the franchise tag by 4 o'clock. We're shooting today on a Tuesday. It's 5 o'clock right now, 5:30. He didn't sign no-show, so that means he will not be playing at all this year for the Steelers.
Good riddance, asshole.
I heard he just put his application in at Dairy Queen down in New Kent.
Oh, really? I heard he tried to apply to Planet Fitness, trying to get that membership fee down.
That could be too.
So now he isn't showing up. What's going to happen? What's his future?
So I think he screwed himself in this entire situation. I've been saying that every podcast. Now he's really screwed himself. The Steelers could bone him if they wanted to by either franchise tagging him again, which I don't think they'll do, or they can transition tag him, which means that other teams have a chance to offer Bell a contract, but the Steelers can match that. And if they don't, he walks. But then they could also transition tag him and trade him to another team, which I hope they do, because fuck Le'Veon.
You can apply transition tag and trade?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
So
you
wait,
could
I
do
thought he had to play a certain number of games this season.
He had to play a certain number of games this season to count for this year to count, and then he could leave as a free agent next year.
So because he's not.
But since he didn't, yeah,
They
the
can
Steelers
franchise tag him again, but it would cost them $25 million to franchise tag,
Yeah.
which is double the closest running back salary.
Apparently, there's this at the beginning of the season. There's this gray area where this is kind of no one really does this. No one sits out a whole season. So I think at the beginning of the season, it was if he sits out, we can franchise tag him for a second year. But instead, since he sat out, if you franchise tag him again, it will count as a third year, which puts it up to $24 million.
And
Which
the thing is, Lev Bell's agent didn't even know
Oh,
it was 6 games. So he thought he could sit out and he'll be a free agent no matter what. He had no idea that he had to play 6 games.
That just shows how
This is a joke.
this entire plan was just fucked from the beginning. The two dumbasses, trying to make as much money as possible. You might as well have had
Spending too much time
fucking
writing-
Jay and Silent Bob out
I know,
there
just-
trying to negotiate contracts.
Spending too much time writing upside down tweets. and reading the fucking franchise rules.
I just think it was one of those things where I don't think they knew what they were going to do at the very beginning. I think it was just they just kind of were on the fly. Whenever all the linemen were saying we thought he was going to show up week 1, I'm sure at some point he told them, hey, I'll be there week 1.
I'm sure he did too.
And then it was one of those things where it's oh, well, fuck it, let's just kind of wait. And then they were like, hey, why don't we wait till, we have to actually go in for this, because you have to require the 10 games in order for it to count as a season. So it's let's just go in for that. And then it was oh, wait, we don't have to fucking go. And they have to pay us $24 million if so? Fuck it, let's just not even play. But now I think he put himself in a spot where only a bad team is going to pay him a lot of money.
Oh, that's it. He'll be going to a shitty team next year.
But he's still not going to make what he wants. There's no way a team's
No.
gonna pay him his.
No.
What do you want? 17
No,
million.
he completely screwed himself out of whatever huge contract he was going to get.
The only team I could see him going to, and it being a much better, two teams, but I don't think he could go to Green Bay. Green Bay, he would make it better, but I don't think they have the cap space.
No,
for him.
they're $14 million over for next year right now.
And the other one is the Colts. I think if you pair him with Andrew Luck, because I think Andrew Luck now he's underrated because of all of his injuries and stuff like that. But I think if you put him there, then they become a way more legitimate team, which sucks for us because we could still possibly see him in the playoffs. But that'd be the only team. But like if he goes to the Jets or something like that, like dude, just collect your money and live in New York.
I see him going to the Jets because they have the most cap space right
Really?
now. They have a young quarterback, so they don't need to draft a quarterback this year. You know, they're a rebuilding team and they have the most money. I feel like he goes there. Unless the Steelers trade him, and then I hope they trade him. I hope they trade him to the Oakland Raiders.
But who are we gonna get back?
Who cares?
Get one of them
Get
first round
No,
picks.
this is where the Steelers need to be smart and think this is the last chance for this super. I mean, they have the offensive line, they have the quarterback, they have the offensive weapons. Our defense is starting to look decent. We have T.J. Watt, a pass rush. Our defense is starting to look decent. Just secure it up. Trade Bell for that next defensive star or a defensive star. You know what I mean? And then just that's our Super Bowl window. If we get a Super Bowl, tits out. You know what I mean? But if not, then at least we shot our shot. You know?
We also have $27 million extra dollars now for next year's cap. Now that Le'Veon Bell is gone,
Does
so
anybody do up for a contract? Like a huge contract?
maybe a couple defensive players, but nothing like outrageous superstar money.
So how long do we have to wait before we have to start paying Juju? How long is that?
For like 2 more years.
Same with Connor around that same time?
Yeah, same time.
So I saw something else about Le'Veon Bell possibly going to the Eagles. Did you guys see that too?
I saw that the Eagles. I mean, he can't go there this year, but next year I don't think the Eagles have the salary cap.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Unless, and I don't know why he would do this, but if he does what a couple players have been doing and take like a 1-year tryout contract, like prove it deal, like Alshon Jeffrey did, but I don't think he'll do that because
no way that's basically
that's exactly he passed up 1 year, $14 million. There's no way he goes to another team and plays another 1-year contract.
Think about it. He already. I mean, there's not very many organizations better than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No.
And so you've pretty much dicked over the Pittsburgh Steelers because of like a 1-year tryout essentially. And so then what? You're just going to, try for another team? It doesn't make sense because you essentially damage your image to try to get a long-term contract. I don't think he's going to go
I feel
for it.
like if he would have played this year, like every single year, if he would have had a great season, I feel like the Steelers would have signed him. Like
They wanted to sign him this year. They offered him the highest paid contract like
insane.
out of running backs, and he could have been on a contending Super Bowl team. But now he's going to go to a shitty team and make that much money. But he's not going to be contending.
If you're making $60 million a year for like 3-4 years, what does that extra million matter?
At that,
you know what I mean? Like at that point,
I mean, but at the same time, I mean, if you can make $4 million or you can make $5
if I can
million,
make
you want that $5
if I can
million.
make 16 or 17,
It's $1 million. I'm
This
just saying, $1
school
million
passed
is a lot
up
of money.
$14 million.
yeah.
That's a lot of money.
There's
That's all I'm
just, I guess
saying.
there's just no logic in any conversation involving lockdown anymore. You can't use any type of common sense.
I would walk onto the Steelers field right now and play for his remaining contract and break every bone in my body and be a cripple for the rest of my life for the $6 million he's owed for the rest of the season.
Respect that.
Thank you.
So
does he still have to get paid that or no?
No, he gets nothing. He's not even a part of the NFL right now.
he literally has to wait until
He's literally like you and me, but with lots of money.
So not.
Yeah.
So the Patriots also played over the weekend against the Tennessee Titans, and they got kind of spanked by the
They got
Tennessee
shit pumped. You can't even cherry coat it. They got their shit pumped in to their own asshole.
Listen, put some respect on Tom Brady.
They didn't score the whole entire second half.
Eli Manning had a better game last night than Tom
Eli
Brady.
Manning's a better quarterback than Tom Brady.
Shut the fuck up.
Hey, he beat him twice, so you can say
No,
that.
you can't
How
say
many
that.
times did Tom Brady beat Eli Manning?
I don't know.
0.
Is that true?
No, in the Super Bowl 0.
That's what counts, though.
I think he's beaten him a couple times.
Tom Brady, he only made 21 passes. He threw for 41 attempts, 0 touchdowns. He was god awful. Like, it was just a joke. And Tennessee, I think mostly they were just out with vengeance because they had that running back that just got off of Patriots. And,
Deion Lewis.
Yeah, wasn't there one of their coaches too?
Vrabel used to play for the Patriots. He actually played with Tom Brady on the Patriots when they won a couple of the
So
Super
I mean,
Bowls.
it was just a bad sequence of events for Patriots. I mean, they're still a contender, I think, but you can't have a.
It just
you can't
proves
win
that
every
they're
week.
vulnerable.
Yeah,
they're not the Patriots of old.
I mean, they're still the Patriots. Like no matter what, they're still the Patriots. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like you don't want to overreact,
Yeah, you still got to respect them.
but at the same time, they are starting to show their cracks. And the big thing now is seeding. Is that Kansas City is still there for number one top seed, I think, or at least tie for top seed.
No, they're number one.
Okay. We're Steelers are 2.
Steelers are 2.
Oh, so our
Patriots
Steelers
are
too?
3.
Patriots, no.
I think Patriots are 3.
It's either Patriots or Patriots and Chargers are 3 or 4. I don't know exactly who's what, but
anyway, my point is that there's like 4 teams that are kind of clustered up who are jockeying for position. Now, if the Chargers have a better record than the Steelers and the Patriots, would they be the second seed?
Yes.
Okay, but so would they also get a bye, or how would that
the
work?
1 and 2 seeds get a bye.
Okay, so they would still be that, and then the
Chargers are 7-2, Patriots are 7-3.
Okay, so I mean,
So the Patriots are
basically the same.
right now 4.
so and if you think about it, Tom Brady's not that good on the road in the playoffs. He has like I think like a 1-4 record.
The thing is, the Patriots always get a first round bye.
Mhm.
They've never won the Super Bowl going through the wild card.
Mhm.
So right now they're in the wild card. And right now, if they'd win their wild card game, being the 4th seed, they would play the Kansas City Chiefs because the
And
lowest
Kansas
seed
City.
plays the highest seed in the next round.
And we would play the Chargers.
We would play whoever wins the Chargers, whatever game.
That'd be
Which
such a good-
also works in favor of the Steelers right now because you can let the Patriots and the Chiefs beat the shit out of each other in the divisional round, and then you play whoever wins that game if you win.
To me, like the Steelers and the Chiefs are like the same team. They're just like slightly different. I don't know.
Still
Like,
a lot of games left.
oh yeah, that's for sure. I'm just saying. If you just look at it right now, the Patriots are actually looking somewhat vulnerable. Tom Brady's actually starting to show age, and it seems like the past couple games that like I've seen like against the Packers and against the Titans, if you just like pass rush him, it just seems to like now that he's a little bit older, it kind of seems to affect him a little bit more.
Well, that and his offensive line isn't as good as it used to be. He lost a lot of people. Couple years free agency, they got big contracts because the Patriots don't really play or pay anyone like
True.
abnormal contracts unless you're like an absolutely fucking superstar like Gronk.
Mm-hmm.
But
And so I just think it's just showing a little bit of chinks in some of the armor.
yeah, they're weak, but still go watch them.
And from the story that keeps on giving, Hugh Jackson got fired from Cleveland. What, 2 weeks ago? A week ago?
A week ago,
About
a week ago.
and he already has another job in the NFL.
Does he though? I mean,
Oh no, he has a job.
Yeah.
is this even a real job?
Oh, it's a real job, and that real job title is, in quotation marks, special assistant to the head coach.
So
This is like the assistant to the assistant to the
assistant.
regional manager. Yes.
Hey, he still got a job. This is so weird. Like, why would they do this? Like, what?
I think they talked about having to know like Baker Mayfield a little bit, like sometime.
So they,
Hugh Jackson.
Yeah.
I think that's what
Hugh Jackson was the offensive coordinator for the Bengals 3 years ago before he took the job to be the head coach of the Browns. So him and Marvin Lewis have like this symbiotic relationship where they both like suck the life out of each other and suck balls on the football field.
in Ohio.
In Ohio, yes.
probably 2 of the worst coaches of all time.
But yeah, it's going to be great because Hugh Jackson's going to get fired for the second time in a single season at the end of the season.
Well, so now how many more
After he
times?
loses to the Steelers again.
How many more times?
Yeah,
Is,
after that one, then he'll get fired again.
how many more times does Cincinnati have to play the Browns?
1, I think.
And we obviously have to still play Pittsburgh one more time. So maybe they brought him in thinking, hey, if we can get some sort of edge on Pittsburgh and Cleveland,
What
I
does
guess.
he know about the edge on Pittsburgh? I mean, what is he going to do? Tell them how to tie us?
I mean,
What not to do.
just even the sense of like, oh, we've played them before, like, oh, we've seen this, I guess. Which I mean, I'm not saying that's the reason why. I'm just saying it could be a
I
possibility.
think it just 99% comes out of the hand of Marvin Lewis being friends.
Yeah, that's
There's no
basically
need
it.
for someone like that
I tell you what,
with
Lucas,
that kind of record as a coach.
if I was a head coach and you were probably the worst head coach in
Why
history,
would I be the worst head coach?
because this is my scenario, okay?
You're
I would hire you as a special super assistant to the.
super assistant.
Yeah, that's how much I respect you, Lucas. Does that make you the super?
That's one up from special assistants.
Yeah. So.
I don't think I'd hire you.
All right, but that about wraps it up for Week 10. So let's just get right on in to some Week 11 predictions. So we're starting off Thursday night, Green Bay at Seattle.
Seattle had a great
I watched that
versus the
game.
Rams.
Fantastic.
They put up 31 points. The Packers also put up 31 points, but that was against the Dolphins. So I'm going to pick Seahawks, baby.
Seahawks!
It's only because they're at home.
Lucas,
So I'm basically
stop
just Tyler.
fucking taking my book. Okay.
No, but seriously, the Packers, we know they're on the downslope this season. They might finish 500. Seahawks about the same. They're sniffing for that wild card, but I'm gonna pick Seahawks. They're gonna ride that hot streak. I mean, even though they lost, but they're playing solid.
Chance.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Seahawks here. The Packers they're fucked. Their head coach is going to get fired at the end of the season. Aaron Rodgers is just going to own the entire Green Bay Packers organization.
I mean, he's pretty much getting paid like he is. So,
Basically.
Evan, who are you?
So I'm gonna go Seahawks. Definitely coming off that. It probably felt like a win to them against the Rams, even though the record didn't reflect that. Sorry, I guess I'm not close enough to the microphone. Yelling at me. So yeah, I'll go Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go Seahawks. I watched the whole game. Obviously, Seahawks fanboy here. They almost won that game. It was so close. It was driving down. It was so good, and then the last. You mean the Rams?
Yeah.
San Diego.
They were playing at San Diego. They're playing in Los Angeles. All right, so Seahawks across the board. You got me. All right, the next one is Cincinnati at Baltimore.
Cincinnati they just got fucking
Huge
pulled
accent.
out of their minivan, and their pants got pulled down, and some guy just went to town on them. And that guy was Sean Payton, Drew Brees, and the New Orleans Saints. They dropped a 50 burger on the Bengals.
They scored 7 straight possessions.
They scored
a point. The ball they scored.
They scored every drive except for the last one where they ran out the clock.
That's what happens whenever you have a Hall of Fame quarterback against
Trash.
The Ravens are coming off of a bye week, so they can't go off their last week performance. But you cannot pick Cincinnati just based off
after
of their
that,
last
I would
week
like to say Lamar Jackson is going to start this week for the Ravens.
Is he really?
Joe Flacco's hurt.
Oh, Baltimore all the way. Baltimore's running the table.
I think this is Baltimore.
Evan?
I'll go Baltimore too, but I don't know how well he's going to do. But I think it'll be interesting to watch either way.
It'll be a shit show of a game, but
I just hate how Baltimore literally only used him as a cute
runner.
Quarterback sneak. It's they're going to quarterback sneak.
Let's put Joe Flacco out wide. We might pass to him. We better cover him.
And the funny thing is, whenever they tried to do that with Lamar Jackson was wide open and they didn't even throw it to him against that Steelers game.
Well, you know why Joe Flacco didn't throw that to him?
Because he didn't want him to get the shine.
Exactly.
Hey, it worked. Lucas, are you picking Baltimore as well?
Yeah.
And I'm also picking Baltimore. So Baltimore across the table.
No, I'm picking Bengals.
You're an idiot. You just said you can't pick them.
I gotta switch it up. I can't all pick the same teams. I think they're gonna come back. I mean, they just got shit pumped. But,
is that your new word?
You think Hugh's gonna rally them?
That's actually
I think it's a possibility.
He's gonna take Mark Lewis's job.
Oh,
Just kidding.
he was supposed to 3 years ago, but then he left for the land.
No, I'm just gonna throw because no what can happen. Ravens are gonna come out playing like trash.
All right, next game. We got the Dallas Cowboys at the Atlanta Falcons. Evan, who are you going with?
Dallas Cowboys. I think they looked really good 2 nights ago. Fucking Ezekiel Elliott hurled that guy. That was awesome. Too bad he fell down. But
you want to know why he fell down? He got his balls pinched between that guy's helmet and his ass cheek.
Can you imagine how much that would hurt?
It had to have hurt so bad. He just fell onto the fucking ground. Dude,
he almost made it.
He almost made it, but he blew a tire and a nut.
Falcons lost the Falcons. Baker had a really good game though, but I'm not picking Falcons. I think they're falling off. They're on a heater for a few games, but
so
fuck the Falcons.
You're picking Dallas?
Yeah, I'm going with Big D.
See, I'm actually going to pick Atlanta for this one.
Big Dak.
Huh? No, mainly this actually has to go more with my hate for Skip Bayless that I don't want Dallas to win.
That's a good point.
So
I just pictured him with his shirt off and that
that's he's literally how I picture every Cowboy fan. It's just literally 2 weeks ago he goes on air and says, "I'm done with the Cowboys. I'm over it. Fuck Dak Prescott. He's not the QB anymore." They come back, they win one game, and it's
we're making wild card.
We're making the playoffs. We're winning our division. We're going to the Super Bowl. It's
Jesus. We're going to win a Super Bowl. So imagine every single Cowboy fan
Have you ever met a Cowboys fan that you liked?
I mean, I kind of like Drew Corey.
Yeah, I was
but
gonna say
not
Drew
really.
Corey's alright.
So Evan lives in Philadelphia now. So I mean,
All
Evan,
my
you were
friends
there.
are from, I know, I wasn't there.
No, you were there, like in the city of Philadelphia, of brotherly love. You know.
Yeah, but
You
not
could
like
feel
during
the-
the game.
No, you were though.
No.
Spiritually.
Yeah, I guess in
spiritually.
my heart. But no, a couple of my friends from school went, and they were very pissed off.
Yeah,
A lot
the
of-
Eagles.
I
The
heard
Eagles
them
look bad.
booing.
Well, because it's like you win a Super Bowl and then you come back and you play like booty.
Yeah.
Chance, who? Oh, never mind. Next game. My bad. We got Tampa Bay at the New York Giants. Lucas, before you even say anything, I'm gonna write down New York Jets. Save your breath because I can tell it's a little
Jets
horse.
to win.
All right,
To
Giants.
win.
You want the Giants to win. I'm just gonna
Obviously,
win
I pick the Giants. The Buccaneers, they only put up 3 points last week. Fitzpatrick had 2 interceptions, no touchdown. He did throw 400 yards, but he couldn't finish it off. The Giants are coming off a big W on Monday Night Football against the red-hot 49ers. the Giants,
I think you just got confused. That's a color on their
the
jersey. That's why they
Giants
were red.
are now officially back. And they're going to beat
Hey,
Buccaneers at Meadow.
to be honest, they're only 2 games out of their division.
Exactly.
You picked
in
them to run the
there, bro.
table.
I'm
They're coming
predicting them to
back.
win this game because, like Lucas said, they just handed MVP Nick Mullins his first career loss. I mean, that's
Nick Mullins,
fucking
2
incredible.
interceptions.
They held Mullins without a touchdown pass. He threw 2 picks last night.
Listen, all I know is that Fitzmagic is coming back.
Yeah, there will be no winners this game.
I don't
There will
believe
be
it.
I
I
pick
don't-
a tie every week. There's going to be a tie.
There's going to be 2-2. He's going to get a safety. It's going to be the
Saquon
first quarter, and that's it. No
Saquon
points.
Barkley is going to come off the bench and play defense, and he's going to use his thighs to get that safety.
That's a solid pick.
Evan, who are you picking? Are you picking a
It's
tie?
going to be a tie, man. It's
Picking a tie.
2-2.
Listen, you know what's the funny thing? Is that game against the Giants and the 49ers, the Niners won that game. You realize that? Because they won the game because the Giants aren't going to win. The Niners aren't going to win in this league.
Yeah, the
It's
Giants.
who's going to get the better
themselves.
pick.
The Giants now have
Oh, I
a
see what you're
3.
saying.
They went from like a 50% chance to get the first round pick to a 3% chance just by winning that game last time.
So it's like the Giants lost even whenever they won. So
It's the same with the Bills. Like, we'll get there. Like, what are they doing? Like, why are they trying? They either lose by 100 or they win by 100.
listen,
I think that the Jets were throwing. The Bills were going to throw, but then the Jets started throwing harder.
You're like, might as well just win this one.
all right, next one is Pittsburgh at Jacksonville. I'm going with Pittsburgh on this one.
Yeah, I'm going with Pittsburgh too.
Same for all the way. Jacksonville's on a hot losing streak. Pittsburgh's red hot.
All right, so we're going Pittsburgh just because hopefully this isn't a trap game. That's my only worry.
Is it at home or is it away?
It's at Jacksonville.
We do
No,
have
I
a
think
history
so.
against Jacksonville last year. But
True.
See, that's the
But
only
their
thing-
defense was way different
I think
last year.
Steelers are better team.
Yeah.
Jacksonville are worse this year.
The only thing that worries me is that like Jacksonville could go into this
Look.
thinking, we've been playing like shit this whole time. We've beat this team before. Let's beat this team now.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna snap a losing streak eventually. It might be this week. Steelers, like I said, they've been winning so many. They're bound to lose a game.
No,
This
they're
could
not.
be
Don't you
it.
dare say that.
It's just how it is.
Running the table.
Cursed. It's
All
your
right.
fault if they
Chance, who you pick? Oh, you're picking Pittsburgh. What am I thinking?
I'm picking Nick Mullins in the San Francisco 49ers.
Is he playing? We'll get
Yes. Houston Texans at Washington Redskins.
Houston Texans.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go Houston. They're on like a 6-game win streak right now.
Yeah, and the Kansas City Chiefs, I think, just won without scoring a touchdown or something. Like, the game looks so bad. Or the Redskins, I mean, my bad.
I was about to say the Kansas City.
I'm thinking Indians, Native Americans, Chiefs.
Maybe they had one.
So what, Redskins top their division right now?
Yeah.
But they won.
Kinda, but it's like one
But
of those
it's like a
things.
crap division.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like all the teams
I
are like
think this
500.
is they're gonna start actually playing good this game. Yeah. They've been like, even though they won, they didn't play good. I feel like this is the point in the season, like it's do or die. For
I mean,
the
yeah, at
division.
that point, that whole entire division is up for grabs. Washington has like I think a 2-game lead, but like they've
Yeah,
been.
they're at 6 and
The Texans were coming off a bye week. Before that, they were winning 6-game win streak. The Texans are going to win this. The rest of them are just bad. They barely scrape by the wins they do get. The Texans are a certified wagon. All right, next game.
All right, the next game is the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts.
I'm going with the Colts. Andrew Luck's hot. He's thrown 3 touchdown passes in every game this year. I think he'll throw 3 more.
What did the Titans look like last week? I didn't see that.
They beat the Patriots.
Oh, that's right. Forgot.
Come on. We just talked about it.
I think we're gonna ride this win. We'll go Titans.
Yeah, the Colts look good. Andrew Luck, like Chance said, he's coming back. He's proving that he's a starter in this league. Titans, I think they just got lucky last game. Like I said, mostly with vengeance. I'm picking Colts at Indianapolis.
Yeah, I'm also going to pick Colts. I feel like Andrew Luck is coming back to his former rank of being one of those highly coveted quarterbacks, so I think he's just going to keep going. I actually think they have a dark horse chance to get into the wild card, maybe.
I could actually see them getting the wild card, too.
So who knows? It's a dark horse, but
In the hunt.
the next game is Carolina at Detroit. I'm going to go with Carolina. I know they just got fucking spanked, but, I mean, it's Detroit. It's Detroit. I'd pick Cam Newton over Matt Stafford, so.
I think Cam Newton's going to lay a hot, steamy shit right on the chest of every Detroit Lions fan this weekend. I'm going with Carolina.
Also Carolina. They're gonna go back to the drawing board, see what happened at Pittsburgh, and use that to beat the shit out of the Lions.
Yeah, they lost bad, but Cam Newton, besides the interception in the first, second drive, he had a decent game. They're still the better team. They just had a really rough week last week. Steelers played really well. So I'm picking Carolina.
I can tell you what happened to Carolina. It's that whenever the other team scores 2 touchdowns in 11 seconds.
That was the most fun game I've ever watched.
I literally missed both of them.
In recent memory,
Really?
I can't remember a game more entertaining than that. Maybe the Christmas game against Baltimore was because it came down to the wire, but that game was just so fun because it was just so many scores. It was so fun. Everything was clicking.
I couldn't blink.
Yeah, I went to get a drink, missed the Juju touchdown, went to take a shit, missed the pick
Rest of the
six.
game?
Really shouldn't have
Missed the pick
to,
six.
bro.
Well, I figured Carolina got the ball back. What are they going to do?
Turn it over.
I carry my TV into the shitter with me when I go.
Yeah, just switch the mobile stream.
You're right.
With the 21st century.
I'm the dumbass here. Next game is the Broncos at San Diego / Los Angeles, depending on where they play this week. I'm picking Chargers. The Bolts.
Yeah, I'm going for the Chargers. I think that, they got fire going on over there. They're bad fires. Chargers.
Come on.
No, on a serious note, though, Philip Rivers is playing good. The defense is good on San Diego. They're just a better team.
Chargers. Philip Rivers is killing it.
Yeah, Philip Rivers, like I say all the time, he's one of those underrated quarterbacks.
I think he's better than Eli.
Oh, for sure. I think he is. Not even just not elite, but I think all time, he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks. Broncos are lost 5 of their last 6. They're at LA, so.
I think that's the first time you've ever said a quarterback was better than Eli. You just said half an hour ago that Tom Brady was better. Or, I'm sorry, that Eli was better than Tom Brady. You're fucking high. We got to start drug testing on this podcast. All right, Raiders at Arizona. This is just 2 bad teams playing. Chance, who's going to lose by winning?
This is actually going to end in a tie.
0-0.
You're picking tie.
Nah. The Raiders are at 100% throwing right now. It's clear as day. I think the Cardinals are going to win this game. They almost beat the Chiefs.
Almost.
Almost beat the Chiefs.
Evan, who are you going with?
The Raiders just look so bad. So
The Cardinals look like world beaters?
I mean, slightly better.
Almost beat the Chiefs.
Slightly better than the Raiders. So definitely Cardinals.
The Raiders still don't have a
I mean,
pass
not
rusher.
definitely. Maybe.
They never found that pass rusher they've been missing.
They are at Arizona, so I'm going to go
Home team.
Arizona.
Home team.
You can't find pass rushers, but Khalil Mack had 2 sacks on Sunday.
He actually, the one play, he literally pushed over 2 dudes and then sacked the quarterback. It was how do you even do that?
The guy's
Got the Royals.
That is such a steal. The Bears only gave up 2 picks, 2 first overall picks, or 2 first round picks for that. Wild. Yeah, I'm almost going to go Arizona, though, just because I agree with Chance. It's just Raiders are almost playing to have the worst thing possible. Next one is the Eagles in New Orleans.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
No way. Saints, 100%. There's no way they can stop them.
Saints are the number 1 team. I think they're better than LA at this point. Drew Brees
Which
is
LA
an
team?
incredible both.
No, there's only one. There's one San Diego team.
Yeah, they're at New Orleans in the dome. New Orleans.
riding around the Superdome, getting Superdome. Yeah, I'm going with the Saints.
Did you just come up with that off the top of your head?
No, that's a Currency song.
Ah, okay. Respect.
It's literally called elevator music. It's good. You should listen to it.
Shout out to
Do
Currency.
they actually play it in the elevator?
I don't know, but it has like a kind of a beat, like an elevator music. It's a good song. It's from like 2008, something.
All right, I'm also going to go Saints on this one. Eagles just got bitch slapped by the Dallas Cowboys, who, like I said, they're going to be a 500 team. They're going to be a 500 team, and they're just going to lose the games you expect them to win, and they're going to win the games you expect them to lose. Next game is the Vikings at Bears. I am going to go with Khalil Mack and the Bears on this one, hometown team.
Yeah, I'm picking the Bears too. They look like the better team. Mitch Trubisky is actually having a really good season, which is surprising. I thought he'd be a bust.
Is he good, or is it just like
I think it's the system and the coach, but I mean he fits it. So
hey, I mean, as long as it's working for him.
Tom Brady's the system quarterback, so I mean can't
Shots fired.
Can't bitch.
Yeah, Bears. I don't know how I feel about the Vikings right now. I feel like they're so up and down. A lot of down, but
A lot of down.
you know.
I feel like they were that hope team from last year that like you would expect them to be good because their defense was so good, and then it's just like kind of like Jacksonville, but you know,
I think
a
they were
little
so
bit better.
overhyped because they signed Kirk Cousins, and he was supposed to push them over the edge, and now they're like an average team.
I mean, I think Kirk Cousins is better than Case Keenum.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? But it's just one of those things where if your defense wasn't playing to that elite level like it was last year, then
Besides the loss to the Bills, the Vikings have only lost to the Rams and the Saints, the two best teams in the league, arguably. So, I mean, they're not that bad. They just had a really fluke week that 1 week. The Bears, they're on a heater. If their kicker can avoid hitting 4 uprights in one single game, that was insane.
Yeah, that's something that doesn't happen too often.
what's the betting line on that in Vegas? That's what I want to know.
But it's at Chicago, the Windy City. Kirk Cousins is going to get blown over by Khalil Mack. Like that?
I like that a lot.
All right, so the last game Monday night, it was in Mexico City.
It is now moved to Los Angeles
So thank you, Chance, for the live
due to
update.
shitty Mexican field conditioning.
So it is now in Los Angeles. Kansas City at Rams. 3 weeks ago, this was probably my most hype game to watch, but now I'm just kind of over it. I think Kansas City is the better team. I'm picking Kansas City. I think I saw the Rams got beat by New Orleans, which is understandable because I think New Orleans is probably the best team right now. And then I saw Seattle almost beat them at home.
But
They
that's
almost
Seattle,
beat-
man. Your boys.
Yeah, they almost
I
beat the
understand,
Rams,
but-
but the Cardinals almost beat the Chiefs. Who do you think is worse, Cardinals or Seahawks? That's all I
Well,
look
they're
at.
both birds, so equally terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, fuck birds.
I'm still going Kansas.
it's going to be a great game. I'm excited.
And plus, Cup just got injured off the Rams.
Yeah, season injury towards ACL.
So like I said, I'm going Kansas City.
Yeah, I think the winner of this game is whoever walks away with less injuries because, I mean, these are the two of the best teams in the NFL. They got Super Bowl aspirations. I mean, something bad could happen in this game that fucks one of them. I honestly think the Rams are going to win. I think Sean McVay is a better coach than Andy Reid.
Tyler, you pull me to your side. I'm going to Kansas City.
Hell yeah, Evan. Evan understands. So Kansas City it is. So pretty set. I can't wait to win
Yeah,
right
that's going to
there.
be such a good game.
Oh, it's going to be a great game.
I can't wait for
The
Thursday night.
commentary is going to suck, but it's going to be a great game.
Why? Who does it on?
Booger?
Dude, Booger,
The Booger Mobile?
Booger sucks.
That crane is a joke.
And then Jason Witten sucks.
I just feel bad.
How can't they find anyone else to do these shows?
Who knows?
Lucas, maybe you'll get a contract.
They hired him.
Trash your radio. We'll do them.
They hired him because Tony Romo did the same thing last year, and he's actually good.
Yeah, Tony Romo's great.
He's my favorite
Yeah, he's-
broadcaster. But they thought that they scored gold with Witten because him and Tony Romo were good buddies, so maybe he'd be good too. But
Is Roma still doing it?
he does it for CBS.
Ah, fair enough. All right. Well, let's get out of the NFL. We're gonna get a little bit of NBA talk right now.
A little bit.
Jimmy Butler is finally out of Minnesota. Went to Philadelphia. The trade
I
went
saw
down. It was Jimmy Butler plus 14th man on the roster for Robert Covington and Dario Saric plus another, and Jared Bayless, that was the guy, and a second round pick.
The Timberwolves 100% lost this.
See, here's the thing.
100%.
Here's the thing. The Timberwolves are kind of fucked in the sense that you gave Tom Thibodeau control And Tom Thibodeau.
Doug Dimmadome?
No.
Ride around the Superdome, get the Superdome.
He pretty much is like, he's like the guy where he was a coach at the perfect time, made all of his money off that one season of coaching, and now everyone thinks he's great. Whenever he's actually a terrible coach.
Yeah.
And the problem is that they had an offer of 4 first-round picks from Houston. Didn't take that because
4 first-round picks.
yeah, it was 4 first-round picks.
And they didn't take
No, because it would have been, and here's the other thing: is it's not like it's like the next 4 years. It would have been
Every other year.
a
it.
year.
Oh, yeah.
And the
Year
thing is,
miss- oh, yeah, I
here's the thing you got
remember
to remember: Houston, they just gave CP3 that big contract, which is going to backfire on them. So in 4 years, their big contract is going to be done. James Harden, by the time the 7 years is done, he's probably going to be retired at that point, or almost retired. It baffles me that you wouldn't take that deal. But the other thing was then Miami also offered him an even better deal for a better player. So pretty much now they got a role player, a potential better than role player in Dario Saric, and they didn't even get a first round pick.
that.
So
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you trade a bona fide all-star, you need at least that back.
but see, here's the problem: is that he was a problem in the locker room, and the
Yeah,
other thing
that
was
sucks for them.
you could even look at, like, they just gave Karl Anthony Towns a 5-year, $190 million deal,
Sorry.
and whenever he played with Jimmy Butler, he was terrible. Whenever he played by
It's
himself,
$40 million.
more
He
than
did
that.
those quick maths.
No, it's not. You're right. You're right.
Why did the Timberwolves not accept 4 first-round picks? It doesn't make any sense.
Because Tibbs is thinking, I'm probably going to get fired next
So
year.
he wants to win now.
He's like,
players
if I
to
can win now, then hey, I can win now. But that's how stupid they are. The owner didn't.
Yeah, the owner should have never let that happen.
Nobody's going to win in the league until the Warriors are dismantled.
Well, see, here's the other thing: is your 2 core
That's how
people
it is.
who you've already given massive contracts to are under like 23 years old. So in 7 years, they're going to be 30 towards like their prime, and you're going to be getting a solid pick out of it that you could then use to get more assets.
4 solid picks in the next 8 years. You know,
It doesn't make sense. But hey, you know what? That's what they got to live in. I don't blame Philly for doing this deal because guess what? If it doesn't work out, they can then cut. They don't have to re-sign Jimmy Butler, and they have $50 million in cap space. That's like a supermax and plus an
maybe
extra.
KD wants to go.
Oh, please.
But if it does work out, though, they're contending.
Oh no, Philly.
With Butler, Embiid, and Simmons, that's a sack.
See, here's the other thing: is that now it's like the 4 top teams in the East are now better than the 4 top teams in the West, minus the Warriors,
Yeah, but
obviously.
that one top team in the West is just.
Well, yeah,
That's
but
like
I mean,
6 teams.
yeah, and like the thing is like I can't look at Philadelphia and say they're better than Boston now. I can't say that, and I can't say they're better than Toronto now either, or the Bucks at this point. It's like now you just have 4 teams that are all just like even in my mind.
I think it's funny that when LeBron was in the East sucked. Like it was just the Cavs, and then once he goes to the West, the East just suddenly gets like so much better. Like everyone from the West is like, fuck the East or fuck the West, let's go to the East. Like let's get away from LeBron. You know?
I mean, because pretty much he literally had a stranglehold over that whole entire conference for 8 years.
Oh, it's
You know what I mean?
It's
And now
crazy.
and now it's one of those things where it's like you just have it wide open. I mean, Toronto and Boston were good regardless. You know what I mean? They were
Yeah.
going to be good. And Philadelphia lucked out in the process, which is now officially over. And they, happened to get 2 great stars. And I mean, Giannis was always Giannis, but you give him an actual coach now, he can actually do good. So
Question. Going back to the trade, so it was the 4 first round, and then what did Philly give?
no. That trade was so the Houston Rockets, who we're going to talk about here shortly, was going to give 4 first-round picks and I think 2 players to Minnesota for Jimmy Butler.
He went to Philly instead, right?
The Timberwolves Minnesota did not accept that offer. So Philly offered 2 role players, potential kind of role players plus, and a second overall pick and a bench player for Jimmy Butler and a bench player.
So the question I have is, was there some sort of like conflict of interest? Not consider that, but like trading him to Philly was a better call because they don't play the other team as much.
Well,
Or is
so
that
see,
a
that's
thing?
the other thing is that generally, if you trade in a star, you don't want him in your conference.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
So yes, Houston's in the West. Same with Minnesota, but it's one of those things where, me personally, I think the Houston deal is a better deal if you look more longevity. But The problem is that you have such conflicting in that you don't want to keep him in the West. Tibbs is probably going to be fired, so he's trying to kind of GM/coach for his job right now.
I see.
So he wants players, he doesn't want picks. So, but now, hey, Jimmy Butler's now over there. I love the memes that came out. Pretty much said that he was just going to harass Markelle Fultz, and Markelle Fultz is pretty much a bust at this point. But I'm sure he'll end up somewhere. But another star, I say that
LeBron James makes a free throw.
I don't know.
He's 40% if they're down by 1 in the last 10 minutes or something. In his career. The worst ever.
That's a weird statistic.
Oh, dude, some of the stats they pull, like from ESPN, is just wild. It's
I
like
think they just deliberately try to find like the most fucked up stats.
It's
Oh,
That's
for
a
sure.
bad stat though. But then in the game a couple nights ago, he missed 2 free throws, and they luckily got that Tyson Chandler block.
I mean, like it happened even before that. I mean, they lost the game earlier in the year where LeBron had to make one free throw and he couldn't. It's just that's the one thing in his game that he's just not, GOAT status at his free throws. So, no, that's fine. Carmelo might be out of Houston. I'm pretty much gonna be blunt about it.
I don't know how he is and how he fucking sucks.
Well, it's pretty much already stated. Like, yeah, he's out of Houston. He's not officially cut, but all the players, all the players thinks he's done. His representatives are even saying that they're looking for another team already. So Melo's out. That it didn't really work. I think he's kind of the scapegoat at this point.
Yeah.
So apparently, I didn't know this until today. Harden, CP3, and Eric Gordon, they're 2 top 3 players. They're 2 top 3. They're 3 better players, probably 3 of their top 4, are having career worst in shooting percentages. So it's one of those things where it's like everything around Carmelo is just shit right now. But it's just blame Carmelo because he got bought out by Houston for $28 million. Oklahoma City paid him $28 million to not play.
I thought Melo's been done for like the last 4 years. Like even going back to like his last years on the Knicks, like I thought he sucked balls.
I mean, there's only a couple people from his draft class, and those people are LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, and Kyle Korver. Those are like the 4 people. Kyle Korver is just a 3-pointer shooter at this point, which is one of the best ever. LeBron James is, LeBron James. Dwayne Wade already said he's done after this season, so he's retiring. It's just one of those things where it's like, hey, I'm going to do one more goodbye. It's one last dance or one last song or something like that. That's his hashtag. He's in Miami. They're going to have they're going to retire it. What, Lucas?
You'd have to edit it out, so.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not even saying it.
I just can't understand Houston's like thought process through this past offseason. Like you go to the Western Conference, you almost beat the Warriors. You might beat the Warriors if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, and you let like some of your supporting cast like Trevor Ariza and a couple other guys go that made your team click, and you bring in this fucking scrub, beat ass old saggy titty Carmelo Anthony who probably can't even open his fucking car door, let alone shoot a basketball. Like, I just don't understand it. And I mean, I understand he's like BFFs with Chris Paul and all that, and the banana boat shit, and that's fucking stupid, man. Yeah, with Allen Iverson.
Well, actually, everyone's now comparing him to Allen Iverson. That Allen Iverson, was great in his prime, and then he just aged so horribly. He bounced around. He was on Memphis at one point, like. He was on all these teams just trying to, beat Allen Iverson. But some people, if you're a star all your life, you just can't not be a star. So that's just kind of where Melo is right now and currently. So
he's really mellowing out my mood because he sucks.
He'll get traded here and then, or he'll get cut and then go somewhere else. It sucks. Imagine being bought out twice in one season.
Where do you think he goes if he gets cut? Lakers.
No, the Lakers won't get him. Apparently, Portland's been maybe. New Orleans. Just like random teams that are like, yeah, we could kind of.
He goes to Golden State and he becomes a fucking superstar.
Becomes 6th man of the year right there, yeah. Carmelo. Imagine Melo just jacking up mid-range shots, and you just have Steph and Clay and Katie just standing at the 3-point line. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Is Bogey still out?
Yeah, he's still out. I think he'll be back like after the first of the year. I guess at some point.
Did you watch the Golden State game last night?
Oh yeah, and about how there's a big fight between Draymond and Katie. Did you see Draymond try to dribble over the floor?
Yeah, I did. He turns the ball over.
So it was a tie game. Draymond gets his rebound, starts dribbling up the floor, and KD's right behind him, clapping his hands like, "Give me the fucking ball. I'm KD," you know. And he just dribbles up. He literally runs into like 2 defenders. Like the ball hits off his knee, and he like falls off the ground, and the buzzer goes off. Didn't even try. Like didn't even get a shot off. And you just saw KD just bitch him out, just like.
Down to the wire?
It was a tie game. It was a tie game.
Overtime.
And they went into overtime and lost. So the Clippers won. Yeah, the Clippers won. Which Clippers are decent this year. But yeah, apparently then transferred into the locker room. They then got into another fight about it.
Yeah, I heard that Boogie Cousins had to like step in between them. Boogie Cousins of all people had to like break up a locker room fight.
Breaking news: Warriors will reportedly sit Draymond Green tonight after altercation with him.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Oh man, that means it's KD's team. Draymond ain't gonna like that.
Well, I can't wait whenever Draymond goes to get a new contract because they're not going to pay him the supermax, and he's going to get pissed and he's going to be like, "I'm going to go somewhere else."
I don't even think he's that good.
He's in the system. He's in the right system. I mean,
I think that the supporting cast around him is so good that it makes his stats like inflated.
If I was on the Warriors, I'd be better than Draymond.
You're about as tall as him.
I don't think he would. I want to be honest with you, Lucas. It's just one of those things where he was in the perfect system. He's not asked to score at all, which he can't score. All he can do is rebound, defend, and assist.
And be a dick.
Yeah, be a fucking goon. So, hey, who knows? We'll see. So Draymond's, you heard it here first. Draymond's going to be cut from the Warriors and traded. Yeah. So we're gonna wait. Does that mean that Draymond's going to come do the podcast with us?
Yeah.
No, you don't want that. I'm going to reject the Warriors' offer because I wouldn't do that to you guys.
No, Lucas. Lucas,
no,
go on.
No, you're welcome.
We actually really don't want you.
We could bring Melo on. I mean, he'll have lots of free time.
Well,
him and Lev Bell. Fuck, let's get them both on here. Let's go.
Dude, could you imagine that podcast?
You guys like my clickbait title last week where our share was like, "Well, we ain't Lev Bell on the podcast." Listen to find out.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that probably worked. I think that worked. I think it worked.
You could have just said like, "Oh, Chance was at Planet Fitness last night. Ran into Lev Bell on the court. Convinced him to come on the show.
Dunked on him.
Look, Tyler, whenever you're editing this, you just gotta put in voice clips from his like interviews.
That's what I said. We started doing this like, what if we just take some like an interview that actually happened and just play their voice clips and ask our own questions?
Yeah,
that'd
awesome.
be so funny.
I'm pretty sure it's illegal though.
This is who?
You're not making any money off this.
That's what you think.
Oh, I guess not.
It's that podcast money. You know what I mean?
We make lots of money, lots of sponsors, but we could always use more.
If you go for us now, you'll be the first, and we'll give you a good deal.
We'll give you a huge deal.
Chance will get a tattoo.
We'll process your deer.
We know a guy.
And we won't set it by the garbage can. And we won't not contact you for 3 months and cover it up.
Holy shit. All right, let's just talk about a little bit of video games.
Little video.
Little bit of video games. So we got into an interesting discussion today. We talked about, is Battle Royale dead or not? So Lucas kind of brought up the point that no one's really playing it, or is that what kind of where you're getting at?
Well, I'll just ask my friend Chance, like, are you still playing Blackout? Because like I haven't seen him online. We haven't played together in a while, and he's like, no. I'm like, oh, it sucks. I miss fragging. Miss fragging with some friends.
Yeah.
The frag master himself.
And he just brought up like VR is pretty much dead, and he's got a good point. Like it's been out for years, 2 years. I mean,
about 2 years. The peak of VR was like a couple months ago. I'd say about 6 months ago when like console PUBG. I think it's like when Mimir or whatever how the fuck you say it, the desert map for PUBG came out on Xbox, and I think Fortnite was in like season 4 or 5, something like that. It was like the season where like the Thanos shit was out.
Oh yeah.
So,
that was like in the spring.
Yeah. So I think that was like peak VR right there.
Yeah, I'd say. And plus all the hype around like the big AAA games were coming out of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call of Duty's making the Battle Royale.
And the Battlefield, all that stuff.
Yeah, and then once it came out, you're like, all right, this is fucking great. This is so unnecessary. Like, I am not a fan of Black Ops 4 anymore at all. I am completely turned on that game. When it came out, I'm like, all right. Well, first on the beta, I'm like, this is gonna be sick. I can't wait for it to come out. When it came out, I'm like, this is all right. It could be fixed. Even after a couple patches, it's not fun. it's not a good game. Like, it's so broken. There's an unnecessary game.
I just think it's the game mode of Battle Royale in general. I just think people are growing so stale on it because,
Mhm.
like, every game is trying to come out with a Battle Royale mode now. Like, look at COD. Battlefield releases next week. I mean, their BR better be, like,
Well,
fucking, like, multi-million-dollar money maker, or they're fucked because they probably based their whole game
I
around
just
it.
hope it's super simple. The one thing I hate about Black Ops 4 the most is it's so unnecessarily complicated. There's so much unnecessary shit, like all these different perks and like different throwables and all this. It's so stupid. Like PUBG, you got armor, guns. That's it. You don't have any like these special attachments. And I hope Battlefield 5 is just like that.
I think the reason Blackout did that is because the other ones have been around for so long, so they had to revamp it somehow. But in doing so, I guess from your opinion, too much. I haven't played it, so I
Yeah,
don't know.
like they did spice up the series a little bit. Like it's completely different from PUBG and Fortnite, but it just doesn't work.
They had to add the normie Call of Duty twist to it,
Yeah.
or else it wouldn't have been Call of Duty Black.
It doesn't work for a battle royale.
I mean, it's still the one thing I will say is like Black Ops. It still has a better finish to it. Like it's still
It's an
more-
optimized game.
exactly it's optimized, which fucking PUBG has never done. Which if PUBG would do, it would be 10 times better than Blackout. Yeah, I think it's just that everyone's so stale on the battle royale. And like if you think about it, like Fortnite, which we don't even play, which is the biggest battle royale. Yeah, literally we did.
I'm
And
surprised it's been in popular.
It's literally only as popular because it's
free.
free. If it wasn't free, it would not be as popular as it is.
And so I just think it's one of those things where it's just everyone is just kind of getting to that point where it's burnt out. And the other thing is that there are other games now to play.
Oh yeah.
Because like if you think about it, like 6 months ago, whenever we were playing
Yeah, there's absolutely not.
Primo PUBG, we literally said we're done playing Overwatch. We just don't want to play it.
Yeah, I'm so pretty pissed off about that.
And we literally were saying there is nothing else to play, so we'll just play PUBG. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now you have you have Red Dead, you have Fallout 76 is coming out, you have
Even like in that time, like even a few months ago, Assassin's Creed came out, Tomb Raider came out,
God of
Crash
War?
Bandicut came out.
God of War. I think that was a while ago.
Yeah,
That was
they came out like the spring.
Oh,
But that was around BR time though.
Yeah, it's like just the fall. Like this fall is just loaded with games, and they're trying to squeeze in something that's already passed. Like the fad is gone.
So I think it's just more of a there is other stuff to play, and I think it's just one of those things where it's like there was nothing to play, so everyone played battle royale games, and now it's at the point where all these big AAA games that people want to play are coming out that people are just like I've said it all myself. I have so many games I want to play. Like I want to play Red Dead, I want to play Black Ops, I wouldn't mind playing PUBG, I want to play Overwatch, I want to play Destiny. Like I just want to play all these different games, but it's like I can't. Like there's not enough time in the day for me to play them all. So it's like I don't want to take the risk of having a shitty night of playing battle royale games. So I'd rather just play Red Dead. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you.
If Battlefield 5 Battle Royale, if it's good, I'm down for Battle Royale again.
Well, it doesn't come out with the game. Battle royale is
It's not releasing with the game.
No. It's going to release later,
No.
Because it's probably not even close to finished.
and that's how
why
bad
they're in
EA
beta.
is.
They might as well just scrap it,
They
honestly,
probably will though.
because the genre will be dead by the time that.
I'm pretty sure
said anything about it.
That's what I mean. They haven't even released a trailer since like was it
Just
summer?
the very first trailer.
Yeah,
It was just a
E3. I
super
think they
small
had that.
teaser.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that it's not meant until after the first of the year. So for me, it's one of those things where it's like Battlefield. They pretty much it's not gonna
But
be a
if
good
it's
game.
simple like PUBG, but
It's not.
optimized like Call of Duty. I mean,
I can almost guarantee you it will not.
but it's
be.
not going to be futuristic like Call of Duty. That's what I hate about it.
No, it'll be World
Blackout.
War II, like fucking.
I
That's
feel
pretty fucking sick though, because it's simple. You don't have all this tech back then.
no, but see, here's the thing. Knowing EA, they'll fuck it up.
Oh yeah, there'll be microtransactions out the
I'm
ass.
still gonna try.
Or there will be like even whenever we played the beta for Battlefield 5,
Yeah.
Battlefield 5, it was not enjoyable to me. The gameplay,
No, the multiplayer looks like trash.
and that's what I'm saying. It's literally going to be that, but just a battle royale version of it, and I don't see it being much better.
Do you know if they're planning to put on the beta for Battle Royale?
That's what they haven't heard anything.
Nothing. It's crazy.
So they're going to put out this game, and all the Battlefield diehards, which I used to be, will buy it. No one else will buy it, and they'll be like, "Well, Battlefield's dead." So, and then 3 months from now, they'll be like, "Hey guys, remember we
Remember us? Here's our BR we promised
here's
you
our
a
battle
year ago.
royale." And the next thing,
No, but by that point it'll be vintage. So it'll be
Alright.
cool.
you're right.
That'll be what's it, edgy or whatever
Yeah,
the fuck
maybe
it's
they're
called.
waiting.
Indie.
Indie, yeah.
Maybe they're waiting for the Battle Royale fan to buy it.
Think about it. Think about it.
I'm excited to hear more about it.
Like I said, well, that's like a wait and see kind of game. If it, just remake Battlefield 4, but just a little bit better somehow, just a little bit, not as much of a clusterfuck. You know what I mean? But speaking of PUBG, yeah,
The four of us right now.
PUBG is now coming to PS4.
Yep.
So congratulations, PlayStation! You get the best battle royale.
Yeah, it's gonna run even shittier on your system.
So have fun with that. Yeah, I guess it was just recently announced that PUBG is going to be coming to
Today,
was it today?
December 7th, it comes out.
So it's going to be coming there, which I think is weird because I actually thought that Microsoft and PUBG were trying to do like an exclusivity
So I
thing.
guess the thing was they had like exclusive rights for like a year or something,
Oh, okay.
and then PUBG was allowed to like.
Well,
go
that
to
makes
PS4.
sense. Now, I mean, like I said, it's one of those things where I'm sure a bunch of people will buy it who own a PlayStation.
Dude, that game is so
You don't
fucked. Dude, the mobile fucking PUBG is 60 frames per second, and fucking console and PC is like 19. Like that's pathetic. That's literally pathetic. When a mobile game runs smoother than a PC and a fucking Xbox game, there's something seriously fucking wrong.
So like, what's the issue? Like, why is it like that?
Because they just won't update. They won't optimize
No
it.
one knows.
It's
What do you think?
Just
$1 billion.
they're literally bathing in our fucking money over there in South Korea. They got like some big ass pool they're just fucking swimming in. All the
that'd be
cash.
Pure gold.
That'd be like if you made a game and you were like, I have millions upon millions of millions of dollars. What should I do next? And you were like, nothing. Like instead of being like, all the problems we have with their game, let's just spend like a sliver of what we made and optimize it.
Blue Balls is the Lev Bell of game developers.
They're adding Harley Quinn and Joker skins for like $20
Each.
In PUBG.
Very well.
Yeah,
What?
I swear to God.
Why the fuck do they have? Why do they have those in
I don't know.
PUBG?
I don't know.
Because you can be the
People will
Joker.
buy them.
No one
It's
should
the
buy them.
Suicide Squad version.
I just shake my
The worst
fucking
one.
head.
Think about it. Think about how funny this is. Fortnite got Thanos, which was at the time was like the thing, like the hot
That
thing.
was sick, though.
That was the weirdest thing.
But it was cool though, because like
It was some weird.
And then
PUBG's like, what can we do that's exactly the same?
PUBG got a game
Let's
that's
one
like
up them. I know.
PUBG got a movie that's like 3 years old at this point.
The two worst versions of the two respective characters.
They were like, that's it.
This is our ticket.
Is it even like sexy? Is it like what's her name? Margaret
Sexy
Robbie
Joker,
or whatever?
Outfit looks like they look exactly like how they would do.
But does it look like Margaret Robbie or whatever? Robbie, whatever. Yeah. Well, if it looked exactly like her but naked in The Wolf of Wall Street, I would buy that skin.
Lucas, how many times have you whacked your willy to it? Okay.
No, that is the next.
Yeah, it is. The next topic is over the weekend, Xbox had their showcase that happened. This is a new thing that they were kind of doing. I guess they did it before, but this is like they brought it back. It was down in Mexico. I think it was Mexico City, wasn't it?
Oh man, I heard their field sucks.
Yeah, they're the reason the field is fucked.
And so,
Damn gamers.
pretty much, for my gist of it, is that they just kind of announced a bunch of Game Pass games. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, they announced that they acquired a couple of gaming studios. BioWare, which developed, I think, Mass Effect.
They got BioWare.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I didn't know
they
got
bought out BioWare. They bought out the company that runs their own the Fable games, and they bought out another company I can't remember.
Obsidian. Wasn't it the people who did?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did.
the people that did Fallout New Vegas. Yeah,
Mhm.
they bought them out, which is sick because I think Microsoft is all in now on
Mhm.
games for like the next fucking thing. Like they didn't have as many exclusives this what is it generation,
Mhm.
but I feel like they're really amping up now because they have their hardware out. They got the best console in the market, so now they're gonna ramp up the game production.
Yeah, I think they're trying to show that. I don't think any of these changes will affect us on the Xbox One. I think it will affect us whenever the Xbox 2 or whatever the next one is comes out. And then I think they're going to be like, hey, here's all these exclusives. Here's Obsidian's new RPG. Here's BioWare's new RPG or whatever. And they're just going to kind of bombard and say, like, fuck you, Sony. We can also.
$1,000 console.
And we will buy
I
it.
believe they just keep adding X's.
Oh, so it's
It'll
just
be the
Xbox.
Xbox
Oh,
One.
And then once it
XX.
gets to the 3, then it's strictly a porn streaming.
Multimedia porn device.
That you just plug into your TV.
Pornhub exclusive.
It's like as soon as you boot it up, it's just automatically on Pornhub.
You can't even change it.
Pre-order list for this.
And instead of Xbox Live, it's just Pornhub Premium membership. You know what I mean?
And is there a Kinect camera that just watches you and then like
There's
tells
like a
you?
there's like a built-in webcam, but it's like from the chest down, so
Okay.
it just watches you spank you. That's basically it.
Oh, well, then so it's kind of also like a.
It's
You
like
can stream it.
it's like going on Omegle and just clicking through and just watching 50 guys beat off while you just skip through. Those are the days.
Those are still.
Was there
Might
talking
go
about? I
home
did
and
that
do
last
it
weekend.
right after this podcast.
Or, Chance, what's your handle on there in case people want to
On
watch it?
Omegle,
Yeah.
it's Dolan Duck 42069, and then it's like 6 underscores in
XD.
parentheses, and then it's like that upside down Le'Veon Bell text. It says 14 million gone.
So the other thing that they also tried to show off was the Game Pass for the Xbox thing, which me and Lucas both have the Game Pass, which I think is one of those things where
I'm over it. I might cancel it. I can't remember the last thing I bought.
I keep thinking that, but then I'm like, I kind of use it.
What do you use it for?
Like there's games that I own that are on there at this point that I just use as like digital at this point. Like it's so nice. Like whenever I want to play like Fallout, it was just like, oh, I can just go and just click on it.
Yeah,
It's
didn't
like,
they just add like PUBG and stuff to the Game
yeah,
Pass?
they just added PUBG, and it's like all these games that I already own. But it's also
That's why I don't have Game Pass, because I literally own all the
But like
games.
I tried City Skylines.
Oh yeah, cities.
And that was a Game Pass, and like
What kind of game is that?
it's like Sim City.
you build like a
okay.
city, yeah.
It's
really
Sim
fun.
City. It's Sim City. That's all it is. And like I mean, the new Forza game came out on it, which like if I was 5 years ago, I would have been all about that.
Sea of Thieves is on it too, isn't it?
Yeah, Sea of Thieves and which apparently just came out with a new update for Sea of Thieves. So that's
I
one of
want
those.
to get back into that game. I mean, we all have it. Let's sail the fucking seas. Let's do it. It's fun.
I'll have to reinstall it for like the 5th time.
I'll have to buy it for the first time.
It's like
No, don't, Evan.
You're right. I was never
It's a
going to do
$20
it.
game.
I was never gonna
Just
do
spend
it.
the $15 on
Remember
Game
when you
Pass.
guys wanted me to get PUBG for like ever?
Yeah, me and Pinto bought it. And
You
you
guys
played
just
it
bought
like
it.
twice.
I played it a handful of times.
Remember that first W you got?
Yeah,
there?
that was
sick.
pretty
All
wild.
4 of us
Was it
were alive.
delicious?
It was. We were on the desert map, I think. Got it with the good old Tommy gun. That was a sick.
The other thing, kind of video game related, is that there was a new Pokemon movie trailer that came out. Pikachu or Detective Pikachu. We all watched it. I thought it looked sick as hell. Just saying.
Visually, it looks awesome. Like, I'm glad they made a live action Pokemon movie. It doesn't look too cheesy. It doesn't look like too like childish. I just hope, like Detective Pikachu. How good is this story even gonna be?
Yeah, that's my thing. I think the plot, it just sounds fucking. What word are we filling in for the R word? We can't, so Tyler doesn't have to cut anything out. Fuck it, I'm gonna say it. This is
Stupid.
This is my
stupid.
freedom of speech. That shit, that fucking plot with that Detective Pikachu, it's not rad.
Yeah.
It looks.
All we know,
Got him.
all we know is like he's like trying to find his dude's brother or something.
You think it's his
Sounds-
dad?
like they hyped it up, like the kid in the main character, or whatever. He's like got this fucking like old, like what was it, like a pass from like a gym battle or something, and then he's like saying that he's like, they have a poster on his wall, and it's like what the Gino League or whatever.
The Johto.
Gino,
Oh,
yeah.
I always wanted to be a Pokemon trainer. I've never gotten a
I thought they're hyping it up like, okay, like they're gonna show like, Pokemon. Like this kid's gonna pick a starting Pokemon. He's gonna go out. It's gonna be like the fucking show. No, it's Ryan Reynolds. I mean, nothing. Yeah,
I was
this
gonna say
girl's
Ryan Pikachu is Ryan, or a Pikachu as Ryan Reynolds is sick.
Yeah, that's sick. Ryan Reynolds comes in, he starts talking. I'm like, okay, Ryan Reynolds is Pikachu. And then like they progress a little bit, and it's like, oh, I'm a detective. Gotta find your missing father that we didn't say until right now.
So I don't know if you guys know something. Detective Pikachu is already a game.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a game on the 3DS.
I
So
know.
that is a
I
game.
thought it was a comic or something.
No, it's like an actual.
Is it based
3DS.
off of this?
I don't know if
I
it's
think
based
it's
off or
the
not,
same.
but I think it's one of those things where it's like this is already in existence. I mean, obviously it's a
well,
Pokemon
I didn't know
world.
that, so that makes a little
But
bit
like
more
it's
sense.
cool. Like it's a cool like story having like a distinguished Pokemon. You're not just fighting battles, but I hope they make it a cool detective story and not just something super cheesy.
How cool would it be if this turns into like instead of like an MCU, it's a PCU?
Yeah, well,
That would be kind of
The
cool.
Pokemon looks sick in it.
Like that's
yeah,
the thing
they
is
do
they
look
don't
cool.
look
They
they
look
don't
so
look
real.
creepy.
They look so
Charizard looks
realistic.
awesome. Like terrifyingly awesome.
Yeah.
And like Pikachu didn't look like it was gonna murder me in my sleep. You know what I mean?
No, it was
You could
like
see like the hair.
yeah,
texture.
it was cute, like like a cute little Pikachu.
I'm really excited.
That's what I'm saying. From that perspective, I think it's gonna be awesome, and obviously, I'm gonna go see this movie. And I think Ryan Reynolds being Pikachu in it, I think that helps a lot in like its.
It's
validity.
gonna
Like,
it's gonna draw people to watch it.
It's like because people are gonna be like, oh, Ryan Reynolds, like
Deadpool.
A, it's Pikachu, it's Pokemon. So many people have played Pokemon. B, it's like, oh man, Ryan Reynolds is such a big actor, and I think it's gonna be one of those things where I don't think they want to necessarily go into the trap of like, hey, let's just take the video games, the little handheld video games that everyone loves, and let's try to make a story out of it. Because I think one of the things that's so great about the video games is it's your experience.
Yeah,
it's
you
my
make
experience.
your
it's your
own
experience.
story.
You know what I mean? It's not, hey, you have to go and you have to do like even at the beginning you can pick from 3 different Pokemon. Like instantly right away it can be at that first point it's instantly a different story from different people. But I think it's gonna be cool in the sense that I can't wait to see where it goes. I think it's gonna be a decent movie. I mean storyline, yeah, who sees how good or bad it will be, but
Do you think if it does good, it'll sprout more? Not necessarily Detective Pikachu movies, because I don't think
there are more live
that's what I'm hoping
more
for.
live action in general.
But like I said, that's what I'm hoping for. Because who knows? Maybe they say like, "Oh, this is a really cool thing that people will like." So maybe, hey, why don't we try to maybe do someone else's like some trainer or something like that? Like, yeah, that'd be so cool.
Who's producing the movie? Like what publisher is
I have
that?
no idea.
I can try to look.
I remember this movie was getting talked about like I think it was last year or 2 years ago. They were like rumored trying to get Danny DeVito to voice Pikachu.
Yeah, I heard that
Oh
shit.
my god!
I do remember that now, but I never took that seriously. I didn't even think the movie would come out.
Yeah, these things are so long ago.
That would have been horrible.
It would have done worse than Ryan Reynolds. It still would have been so funny.
That would have been
Just having like this
horrible.
old man voice, those little tiny cute Pikachu. That would have been so funny.
Charlie, who pooped in the bed?
The director is Rob Letterman. It looks like.
Who's publishing it though? Like it's not like Sony or fucking Disney or anything like that. Like who owns the
I was
right?
thinking
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
It's distributed by Warner Brothers. I guess.
I mean they
Oh,
could.
yeah, no. Warner Brothers is also production companies. Warner Brothers, the Pokemon Entertainment Company, and Nintendo Films.
But the real question is, do you think this movie will even scratch Pokemon 2000?
Oh no! Shit!
Not
Am I
even
gonna cry over this movie?
What if they just redo it? What if they redo Pokemon?
Which one's
2000?
Pokemon 2000? Is that the one with like Mewtwo and
That's
shit?
the one where they all die pretty much, but then come back to life.
Is that the one with like Mewtwo and stuff?
Yeah, whenever
Yeah.
Pikachu like dies.
Yeah, doesn't like Team Rocket like sucked all the life out of
No,
him?
I'm pretty
And then
sure.
they blast
No,
them
I thought what
off.
happens was like Mewtwo makes like clones of him or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then I just remember because like it's so sad because you just have Pikachu like standing in the middle of this like giant place just slapping the shit out of each other at one point.
Yeah,
They're all, like,
I just remember
stout
that
or something.
that scene where like Ash is like on his knees holding like Pikachu next to like the sparkly lake, and then there's like Mewtwo just like flying behind him, and then like thinking to himself like, "Wow, this guy actually cares for Pokemon."
And I think the other smart decision was that they didn't try to go with the Ash angle right away.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been just like you're fucked. Like it'd be cool if he was like not in the movie, but maybe like a down the road he's referenced or something
What
like
if
that.
they did
Yeah,
spin-offs
very
like
cool.
Misty, Brock,
Or
Ash?
something like that. Yeah, but like here's one of the things is like I can't see a movie based off of Brock.
No.
Or like Misty or anything like that.
I mean,
It'd be a really
Like,
cool
have
show.
them, like in like cameo or something. I don't think based off.
No. Like I said,
Yeah, I
if they
think that would
did
be a good idea.
if they did a sick ass show, like
that's what they should do.
like a
is
more
show.
like adult version of like Pokemon or something like that, that would be primo. Because all of us who watch
Pikachu, fuck him up!
I'm just happy like the
Yes, Charizard in fucking Poliwhirl sex scenes.
Casey went a little too far now. But,
What element
I'm
would
just
they
happy
make?
like the Pokemon look cool.
yeah, they don't look creepy or like.
Like I saw like pictures of like the dogs.
Mr. Mime looks pretty fucking weird. I will say that.
Oh, yeah.
Because it looks so real.
I don't know. I think it's also gonna be
They
a little bit
are
funny.
real.
I think it's gonna be kind of funny.
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be funny with Ryan Reynolds in
Mm.
it. You know it's gonna be fucking funny.
So, but until then, it comes out, I think next May, or is it May or
It's sometime next year.
I think it's May.
I think it just said 2019 of what I saw, so I don't know.
I thought the official release was in May, but hey, we'll figure it out. We'll probably be revisiting this topic for sure after Lucas plays through the entire Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, we'll
On his
review that
3DS.
in about 20 podcasts.
Hey, the new Pokemon game comes out Friday. Let's go.
Which one is that?
Let's go Pikachu and let's go Eevee. So
I will not be buying those.
I will be giving a impressions on that one.
So which one are you getting? Because I saw that each version has different Pokemon.
I'm going with Pikachu.
That's the one.
Because
The classic.
I'm basic. Because listen. This is what it's all about. Because you can get Charizard, you can get Blastoise, and you can get Venusaur. So I always have an electric Pokemon, so Pikachu fills that gap. And I'm not gonna have Eevee because
But can't you turn Eevee into like 6 different kinds of Eevee?
But see, here's the thing. I don't want to do that.
Jolteon's pretty cool.
No, because you have Pikachu. Okay.
He choosing the Raichu. Raichu's pretty sick.
See, I missed whenever Pokemon like Yellow was a thing. I got in after that. Like Ruby, Sapphire, that was my shit. A little bit of Silver.
Leaf Green was my favorite.
So I'm hoping this is just gonna be like a remake of that, pretty much.
I think Leaf Green was my favorite.
Fire Red, Emerald.
Dude, I owned Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald.
Oh, okay, good.
Emeralds.
So
Yeah, I like the hell out of
I think I had Sapphire. Was that the like with Mudkip and
yeah, dude, the
yeah.
best
Mudkip
Pokemon
is
ever.
so
good.
Dude, the best one ever.
Swampert is a fucking You had water and ground together, you got something.
I never used any other of my Pokemon. I think Swampert was like level whatever the max
It
was.
was like 100.
Yeah, it was some outrageous. I just one hit everybody.
I'm glad that because I mean we were probably like 6, 7 at the time that came out or whatever. I did the same exact thing where I literally only would use Swampert to the point where it was so overleveled that it wouldn't listen to me because I wasn't a high enough badges, and I'd be like, okay, Swampert, do this, and it would just be like, nah, and then it would get hit, and it was like, no, I'm still not gonna do anything, and then it would get hit again, and it's like, okay, no, I'm gonna kill him.
He was
it. It
so
took like 2 damage.
he was so OP because he was rock and water type.
He was ground.
Ground
Ground
and
to
water.
water. It's just,
Because as long as you didn't fight grass, you were fine.
Mudslide was like the most OP move.
Dude, Surf and Mudslide.
Surf,
Yeah,
surf.
Mudslide.
Oh
You
my
like
god.
X-Speed too, right?
Yeah, you could get
Ice Beam can
the
sell
ultimate setup was you got Surf, you got Earthquake, and then you got Ice Beam. That's all you needed. Anything past that, it didn't matter because those are the only
You
3
just
ones.
made him forget that move.
Yeah, you only
Don't
needed
even
3.
fill it.
You're still fine.
Fuck, dude, I want to play Pokemon.
See, that's what I'm saying, dude. Friday.
Buy new DS.
Friday. Go buy
We're going to
one.
Walmart right now.
Well,
Is that new one only on Switch?
yeah, the Let's Go.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, this is just kind of like this is going to be it until next year. The next gen comes out solely on Switch, and that's going to be like the hype as shit because it's it's a Pokemon game just for console, which I've never had before.
Oh.
Well, I get it's
GameCube.
it's a Pokemon
What was
RPG
that,
in a sense.
Pokemon Arena or whatever.
Yeah.
Stadium, Pokemon
Stadium.
Stadium.
Stadium was for
And-
N64.
And
Coliseum was for
GameCube, yeah.
And there was like
I know it's
some
like
other
Coliseum.
weird one.
Pokemon
Jail
Snap.
or something.
There's
Oh, that was so much
Oh, dude,
fun.
it was great.
So
Such a
just bring them all back.
Also, Hey You Pikachu. You guys ever play that?
Oh yeah, dude, I had that one.
Dude, that game was cancer.
It was horrible.
You had like this shitty mic, and you had to like scream in it, like through the Nintendo 64. So like the technology was so bad back then, and like you had to scream commands at Pikachu to like go pick that up, and like the thing wouldn't fucking listen.
And then you got to the point where you were like 7 years old and you were cussing out this like Pikachu. You're like, Pikachu, you're so fucking stupid. Go pick up the fucking apple.
I just remember there was one mission they had like it was like a Caterpie or something, and you had to get like Pikachu to give it an apple or something, and it would like evolve into a Butterfree. And I kept screaming, Pikachu, give him the apple! And like the Pikachu's just like blowing bubbles and like falling asleep and shit. And I was just like, fuck this game.
Hey, Nintendo, man. N64, bring it back.
Nah, man, that shit was the go. Remaster that shit.
Oh, please. Can you imagine that on the Switch?
Let's get an emulator on the computer.
No.
Let's get Pikachu on the podcast.
I mean Ryan Reynolds.
We're
Really?
Danny DeVito.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, Evan, thank you for coming on
Yeah,
to the
thanks,
Trash
Evan.
Day
Yeah, thanks
Radio.
for having me. This is fun.
Is there anything you would like to plug while you're on the
Yeah, Mike Cook plugged his album, his movie, his TV show,
Card game.
his
card
sex
game.
tape.
Might be coming out with a video next month, so
But yeah, stay tuned for more.
stay tuned
sketches
for that.
from the game.
Other than that, I don't know. So that's all I
Good
got.
luck in a medical school.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm in med school right
Doctor.
now. I finished my first trimester. Shut up, Lucas.
Ladies, he's a gynecologist, so
Nope.
He'll give you the proper
make
checkout.
sure you
Exam.
flash him that bean.
You heard it from Chance.
Is that a medical term?
No.
Is that what you go, like you write on your board, you're like,
Bean.
adequate bean.
Bean is of normal size. In an anatomically correct position.
All right. Once again, thank you to Evan. Make sure you follow us at Trash Deer Sports. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on
Google Play.
Google Play, Spotify. Dude, sometimes it's just after a long day, it just kind of gets mixed up. I do care, Lucas. All right, until next time, everyone. Thanks for watching or listening.
Thanks for watching.
East Country Road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Rocky Mountain, take me home, country road.